Many thanks for joining IATV's news update at 6 p.m. coming to you from the Lagos studios. My name is Faith Agbetuya. Hundreds of persons suspected to be members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, also known as Shiites, today stormed the National Assembly in a protest that turned violent at the Assembly gate. The men who came on in droves allegedly overpowered the policemen at the gate, collected one of their guns, and shot two security operatives, a police officer and his civil defense counterpart. Members of the group were protesting the continued detention of their leader, El Zakzaki, when the protest turned violent. They entered the main entrance, popularly known as the Mopo Gate, and vandalized the gatehouse, burnt 3 vehicles in the process. The lingering political crisis in Edo State House of Assembly may take new turn in the coming days, as the House of Representatives earlier today considered taking over activities of the troubled State House of Assembly. This is following a motion by Julius Ehanberu, Peters Apatasin, and Johnson Oguma urging the House to take over the State Assembly. Recall that there has been continued tussle between the incumbent governor of the state, Governor Godwin Obaseki, and the immediate past governor, Adams Oshomole, over the leadership and control of the assembly, leading to the lingering crisis. And President Muhammadu Buhari has sought the confirmation of the Senate for the appointment of Professor Habu Galadima as the substantive Director General of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru Jos. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read letters from the President to his colleagues at the plenary earlier today. Buhari said his correspondence dated July 9th was backed by Section 8, Subsection 5 of the NIPSS Act, which empowers him to forward names of nominees for the office of Senate for confirmation. In a similar letter read by President of the Senate, Buhari also requested the Senate to confirm the appointment of Uba Maska as Executive Director of the National Communications Commission, NCC. And Nigeria's opposition parties, People's Democratic Party, today told the Presidential Election Tribunal that its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, defeated President Muhammadu Buhari in his home state, Katsina. Salisu Maijagiru, who said the PDP's coalition agents in the state, said the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, were untrue. He said the PDP scored 905,000, while APC scored 852,000 in the presidential poll, according to results collated in the state. Not the ones from the server of INEC. The electoral body had declared that Buhari polled 1,232,133 votes to beat his closest challenger, Abubakar, who had 308,056 votes in the state. Flood has destroyed more than 50 houses and displaced over 200 persons in Yalman and Dakayawa towns in Kaugama local government area of Jigawa State. The information officer of the council, Fahad Mohammed, told newsmen in Kaugama that the flood was caused by heavy rain, which began by 4 p.m. on Monday and lasted till 10 p.m. yesterday. Mohammed said that the displaced persons were taking shelter in neighboring towns and added that preliminary investigation had revealed. Mohammed said that the displaced persons were taking shelter in neighboring towns, adding that preliminary investigations had revealed that blockage of drainage in the areas was largely responsible for the disaster. He assured that the council was assessing the extent of damages caused by the flood with a view to bringing succor to the victims. And in Lagos, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, continues to review its 2019 general elections on Monday with an interactive session with senior journalists and editors in the state. Officials of the commission, led by its chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said the purpose of the meeting was the media professionals was to reflect and appraise the exercise with a view to look into critical issues of improvement for the future reactions.
Election. The Independent National Election Commission is still busy, this time reflecting and appraising its performance in the exercise that elicited mixed reactions from different groups and individuals that took part in the process.
Please cast your nets wide. The conduct of election involves other stakeholders far beyond INEC. What can we do to ensure that we work with other institutions and stakeholders to improve the electoral process?
This period also offers us the opportunity to make suggestions and recommendations on how to properly and convincingly domicile credible elections in Nigeria.
It's an elaborate and frank discussion covering the practical experience of some of the journalists present here, majority of whom were either on the field or were getting on the field reports and updates from their subordinates.
To us, we are not saying that the security guys should not in any way be part of our elections, because generally in Nigeria there is insecurity. But their rules should be limited, are clearly defined. It's also extremely important for us to note that the nomination of candidates has been a saw, and that is the beginning of crisis in any election.
Then, some goodwill messages, a few clarifications and suggestions on the successes and failures recorded in the last general election, with a view to developing a robust plan and better framework for the future election process in the country.
The technical aspects of how election work is something that must be really owned by media in this respect.
So if Nigeria gets it right, that positiveness would always rub off within the sub-region.
We need attitudinal change, and that attitudinal change cannot be legislated.
As the session comes to a close, the Independent National Electoral Commission assures the journalists and other participants here that it will no doubt harvest issues and implement needed reforms within its mandate to improve on the successes recorded in the last election, beginning with the next set of off-season elections coming up before the end of the year. Thompson Andrew, IATV News.
A High Court sitting in Ado-Ekiti has ordered the detention of a middle-aged man, Bashiru Adeyanju, in prison custody for allegedly raping his 17-year-old daughter, Adeyanju, who lives at number 30 Irona Quarters, Ado-Ekiti. The state capital allegedly forcefully had the carnal knowledge of his daughter on September 10, 2017, and Adeyanju was slammed with a 2-count charge bordering on rape and attempted rape, which was contrary to Section 358 of the Criminal Code law. The accused persons, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges preferred against him by the court, and the case was adjourned to October 2, 2019 for further hearing. That's the news update at 6 p.m. coming to you from the Lagos studios. My name is Faith Agbetuya. Join us at 9 p.m. for more stories. Good evening.